Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wondered why some women seem to effortlessly captivate the men they want, while others are left confused and frustrated? Tonight, I'm going to reveal the hidden ways men secretly test the women they desire, the subtle signs that show whether he's truly invested, and how you can respond in a way that makes him not just notice you, but never want to let you go. Pay attention, because what you're about to learn could completely change the way you show up in love and the way he sees you. Ladies, listen closely, because what I'm about to share isn't just fluff. It's the reality of how men subconsciously measure whether you're someone they want to invest in, someone they see a future with. And understanding this isn't about playing games, it's about clarity. It's about realizing that love isn't random. It's a series of signals, tests, and observations that men use to figure out if you're aligned with what they desire most. First, let's talk about presence. When a man wants a woman, he's going to test whether you are truly present, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. He wants to know if you're going to engage with him on a deeper level, if you can hold space for him without judgment, without distractions. This is why sometimes he will deliberately say things that seem off, or even challenge you to see if you can respond with patience, curiosity, and understanding. Men are wired to notice the energy you bring. If your mind is elsewhere, if you're constantly scrolling or half engaged, it signals that you may not be someone who can fully invest in the emotional experience he craves. But if you show up fully, if you give your attention generously yet gracefully, he feels seen, respected, and most importantly, understood. Then there's the test of independence. Men don't want women who are dependent on them for validation or happiness. They want partners who are complete in themselves. So if a man is interested, he will test your ability to live a full life without him. He may step back slightly to see if you crumble, or he might give you space to see how you respond. This isn't cruelty. This is instinct. He wants to know that when life gets busy, when stress hits, or when challenges arise, you are someone who can hold your own, someone who has passions, dreams, and a grounded sense of self. The more confident and independent you are, the more he sees you as a woman worth pursuing, because he knows you won't suffocate him, but you will enrich his life. Another test is consistency. Men want to see if your words match your actions. If you say you're committed, do you show up in ways that reflect that? If he's planning something meaningful or opening up about his life, does your behavior reflect interest, respect, and reciprocity? This is why some men might seem aloof or mysterious at times. They're observing how you react when they share pieces of themselves. Can you match his effort with your own? Can you be reliable, supportive, and genuine without being asked? Men notice the subtle alignment between what a woman says and what she does, because it signals integrity and emotional maturity. Vulnerability is another arena where men conduct their tests. Deep down, men crave women who are willing to be vulnerable, not overshare, not to the point of insecurity, but enough to show emotional intelligence, openness, and authenticity. When he shares a fear, a past hurt, or a dream, he's observing whether you respond with empathy or judgment. He's testing whether you can create a safe space where he can lower his guard without fear of ridicule. A man wants to invest in a woman who can hold his heart as delicately as he holds hers, because intimacy is not just physical, it's a dance of trust, safety, and mutual respect. Let's talk about challenge, because this is crucial. Men want to feel challenged by the right woman, not in a confrontational way, but in a way that stimulates growth, curiosity, and attraction. If you're always agreeable, always predictable, you might pass as safe, but safe doesn't ignite desire. He wants someone who can disagree, someone who has opinions, someone who can make him think differently and expand his perspective. When a man tests a woman, he's watching how she navigates disagreements or differing opinions. Can she stand her ground with grace? Can she express herself without defensiveness? Can she maintain warmth while asserting herself? These qualities are magnetic because they show strength, confidence, and emotional resilience. Humor is another subtle test. Laughter is a window into connection. A man will gauge whether you can laugh with him, whether you can tease him in a playful way, and whether you can handle his sense of humor, even when it's a little absurd or offbeat. Why? Because life is full of moments that are messy, awkward, and unpredictable. A woman who can meet these moments with laughter, lightness, and playfulness is someone who transforms challenges into shared experiences, someone who can create joy alongside him rather than drain energy. Then there's the test of patience and timing. Men don't rush toward women who force them or who demand constant attention. When he's testing you, he's often seeing how you respond to pacing. Can you wait without panic? Can you trust the process without anxiety? This shows him that you're emotionally secure, that you can tolerate uncertainty, and that your confidence is rooted in self-worth rather than in the need for immediate validation. Men are attracted to women who understand the balance between desire and patience because it mirrors the balance they seek in their own lives. Another layer is how you respond to his world. A man wants a partner who complements his life, not complicates it. He's testing whether you can integrate into his world, appreciate his ambitions, and respect his responsibilities. This doesn't mean you lose yourself or blindly follow, but it means you understand the rhythm of his life and can participate in a way that adds value rather than friction. He notices how you handle social dynamics, family, friends, and career demands, because your ability to navigate his environment gracefully shows that you're someone who can handle the complexities of a committed partnership. Finally, the ultimate test is emotional resonance. A man wants to feel that deep connection with a woman who can match him in energy, intellect, and emotional depth. He's observing whether he can share moments of joy, sadness, vulnerability, and triumph with you and feel truly understood. When he finds that resonance, he doesn't just want a casual relationship. He wants investment, intimacy, and commitment. He's testing whether you're a mirror to his aspirations, a safe harbor in his storms, and a partner in his journey toward becoming the best version of himself. Understanding these tests is not about manipulation. It's about awareness. It's about recognizing the subtle signals and choosing how you want to show up in response. A man testing you is not a reflection of insecurity. It's a reflection of his desire to understand if you're the right fit. And when you respond with clarity, confidence, independence, emotional intelligence, and presence, you pass these tests not because you're playing a game, but because you are authentically yourself, the version of yourself that is magnetic, grounded, and irresistible. Every interaction is an opportunity to demonstrate who you are, what you value, and how you operate in the world. When a man tests you, see it as a chance to show your resilience, your grace, and your self-worth. Because the truth is, men will notice the women who can hold their ground, show compassion, laugh at life, and carry themselves with confidence. They'll notice the women who can navigate challenges without losing themselves, who can engage in vulnerability without fear, and who can balance independence with connection. And once they see that, once they truly recognize it, they don't just want you. They are compelled to invest in you fully because they've found someone extraordinary, someone who reflects the best of who they are and the life they hope to create. Now, let's take it a step further, because the reality is that men's tests go beyond what you can see on the surface. They are watching for subtle patterns, behaviors, and reactions that reveal your true character over time. These are the things that determine not just whether they are interested in the moment, but whether they see a future with you, someone they are willing to risk for, someone they are willing to commit to. And this is where awareness transforms from curiosity into power. The power to show up in a way that magnetically attracts the right kind of investment, respect, and desire. One of the most telling tests is how you handle conflict. Life is full of tension, and a man wants to know that when disagreements arise, you are not reactive, defensive, or petty. He's testing whether you can approach disagreements with clarity and calm, whether you can express your feelings without trying to win at all costs, and whether you can negotiate solutions with empathy rather than ego. A woman who can handle conflict without losing her grace demonstrates maturity, emotional intelligence, and stability, qualities that every man subconsciously craves. When he sees that, he doesn't just see a partner, he sees someone capable of building a life together, someone who can navigate storms instead of creating them. Another subtle yet powerful test is how you celebrate his successes and ambitions. Men notice when a woman is genuinely excited for them. Not jealous, not competitive, but genuinely supportive. This isn't about flattery, it's about alignment. When he shares a triumph, he's gauging your reaction. Are you happy for him in a way that feels natural and enthusiastic? Or do you diminish his accomplishments with sarcasm, envy, or disinterest? The way you respond reveals whether you are someone who lifts him up, someone who adds energy to his life, and someone who can be a true partner rather than a source of tension. Men want women who inspire them, challenge them in the best way, and create an environment where their potential feels celebrated. Let's talk about social intelligence because it's often overlooked. Men pay attention to how you interact with the people around you, friends, family, colleagues, even strangers. This is a test of character, kindness, and adaptability. Are you gracious, respectful, and confident, or are you judgmental and rigid? He's watching how you navigate different personalities and social dynamics because it reveals how you might handle life's complexities in a long-term partnership. A woman who can move through the world with grace and warmth, who can engage with others without losing herself, signals that she can contribute positively to his life and the life they might build together. Financial awareness and responsibility is another layer of testing, though not in the materialistic sense. Men notice whether a woman is responsible, independent, and grounded in her approach to money and resources. They're not looking for someone who is obsessed with wealth, but someone who understands value, prioritizes wisely, and manages herself with maturity. When he observes that you can handle your resources, plan ahead, and balance enjoyment with responsibility, he unconsciously recognizes that you are capable of partnership, capable of co-creating a life that is stable and thriving. Trust is central to all of these tests. Men test whether you are trustworthy, whether your word is reliable, whether you show integrity in ways that go beyond words. This is why he might share something personal and confidential. He's not just sharing, he's testing whether you respect boundaries, whether you honor his vulnerability, and whether you respond in a way that strengthens trust rather than weakens it. Trust isn't built overnight. It is demonstrated consistently in actions, in decisions, and in the way you carry yourself. Men are drawn to women who embody reliability because it reassures them that they can open up, take risks, and invest without fear of betrayal or disappointment. Curiosity and engagement are also powerful areas of testing. Men want women who are genuinely curious about their thoughts, dreams, and experiences, not in a superficial way, but with a desire to understand, to explore, and to grow together. He will notice whether you ask meaningful questions, whether you listen actively, and whether you engage with interest rather than obligation. Women who demonstrate curiosity signal that they are not passive participants in life or relationships, they are active co-creators. Someone willing to invest energy, attention, and love in a way that is reciprocal and fulfilling. A man will also test emotional composure in the face of unpredictability. Life is messy, and he wants to know that you can handle uncertainty with grace. He's not looking for perfection, he's looking for resilience. When things go wrong, when plans change, when stress hits, does your demeanor shift into panic or frustration, or do you maintain perspective, humor, and problem-solving energy? The way you navigate the unpredictable moments of life tells him everything he needs to know about whether you are someone worth pursuing long-term, someone whose presence adds calm, stability, and positivity rather than chaos. Intimacy, both physical and emotional, another area of testing. Men want women who are comfortable with themselves, who express desire naturally, who understand boundaries, and who can give and receive affection without fear or insecurity. He will observe how you navigate closeness, not just sexual, but emotional and intellectual, and whether you are able to connect deeply without losing your sense of self. Women who can match emotional depth with physical chemistry signal that they are fully present, fully alive, and fully engaged. This combination creates an irresistible energy that draws men in and keeps them invested. Generosity of spirit is a less obvious yet critical test. Men notice whether you are generous with your time, your attention, your kindness, and your energy. They are drawn to women who can share without expecting something in return, who can contribute positively to the lives of others, and who embody empathy and compassion. This doesn't mean you are a doormat. It means that your generosity comes from strength, confidence, and emotional abundance. Men instinctively recognize this energy because it mirrors the qualities they hope to cultivate in themselves and the life they want to build with a partner. Finally, the ultimate test is alignment of vision. Men are always evaluating whether you share compatible goals, values, and visions for the future. He wants to know if your lifestyle, ambitions, and priorities can coexist with his in a harmonious way. This doesn't mean you have to agree on everything, but it does mean that you demonstrate clarity about what matters to you and the ability to negotiate and collaborate on a shared path. Women who can articulate their values, show consistency in pursuit of their goals, and integrate their lives with his naturally pass this test because they demonstrate foresight, maturity, and intentionality. When you understand these tests, you gain an extraordinary advantage. You stop feeling like you are being judged or manipulated. You begin to recognize that these are not arbitrary challenges. They are signals of genuine interest, markers of whether a man sees you as someone extraordinary, someone worthy of investment. And once you grasp that, you can respond not from a place of anxiety or overthinking, but from a place of clarity, confidence, and authenticity. You show up fully with presence, independence, empathy, humor, and grace. You demonstrate strength without aggression, openness without vulnerability that feels unsafe, and curiosity without neediness. This awareness transforms the dynamic entirely. It allows you to move from reacting to observing, from guessing to understanding, and from seeking validation to commanding respect. You begin to see every interaction as an opportunity to demonstrate the qualities that create deep attraction: emotional intelligence, resilience, consistency, generosity, and alignment with values. Men aren't just drawn to women. They are drawn to women who embody these qualities naturally. Women who are unafraid to be themselves while maintaining their dignity, strength, and allure. Ultimately, passing a man's tests isn't about manipulation or strategy. It's about showing up as your most magnetic, grounded, and authentic self. It's about recognizing that attraction isn't just about charm or beauty. It's about presence, alignment, emotional intelligence, and the ability to enhance his life rather than complicate it. Men are instinctively drawn to women who can navigate these dimensions effortlessly, and when you understand that, you stop playing games and start living authentically, confidently, and powerfully. The truth is, men will test women because they are looking for something real, something extraordinary, something worth the risk. And when you can meet those tests with clarity, confidence, grace, and self-respect, you become undeniable. You become the woman who is not just wanted in the moment, but someone who inspires loyalty, desire, and commitment over the long term. You become the woman who is impossible to ignore because you are a living embodiment of value, strength, and authenticity in every sense of the word. Beyond all the visible tests, there is an invisible layer that most women overlook, the test of emotional gravity. Men are constantly evaluating whether your presence makes them feel lighter, stronger, and more capable, or whether it adds weight, doubt, and uncertainty to their lives. They're instinctively tuned to detect energy, to sense whether your aura encourages them to rise or drains them. When he's testing you, he's observing whether you have the ability to hold space for him, not to smother, not to control, but to support, inspire, and elevate. A woman who passes this test doesn't have to try hard. Her energy simply signals stability, calm, and magnetism, and he can feel it even before a word is spoken. Another critical area is how you handle boundaries. Men want to see that you are not only independent, but self-respecting. They test whether you can say no without guilt, whether you can protect your time, energy, and emotional space. When he observes that you maintain your standards without being rigid or combative, he understands that you are a woman of integrity and self-worth. Boundaries aren't barriers. They are bridges to clarity. When a man sees that you honor your own needs while respecting his, he knows he is dealing with someone mature, someone whose presence will create harmony rather than tension. Let's talk about how he tests your adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and he wants to know that you can navigate change without losing your essence. He may deliberately introduce scenarios that are unexpected, challenging, or even slightly inconvenient just to see how you respond. Do you panic, complain, or withdraw? Or do you rise to the occasion with grace, problem-solving, and a sense of humor? The ability to adapt demonstrates resilience, intelligence, and emotional strength, all of which are irresistible qualities. Men are drawn to women who can meet life head-on with flexibility and poise because it signals partnership on the highest level. Emotional response is also a subtle yet potent test. He watches how you respond to stress, disappointment, and frustration. Are you reactive and volatile, or do you maintain perspective and composure? A woman who can experience strong emotions yet manage them intelligently demonstrates maturity and self-awareness. This is critical because life will throw challenges at him, at you, and at the relationship. Men seek women who can navigate these storms without drama, who can respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively, and who can turn challenges into opportunities for connection rather than division. Curiosity about him is another test that often goes unnoticed. He wants to see if you genuinely care about his inner world, not in a superficial or performative way, but with authentic interest. This is why he may share details of his past, his fears, or his dreams, even small observations or personal reflections. He is assessing whether you are curious in a way that fosters intimacy and connection, whether you ask questions that deepen understanding rather than simply to fill silence. Women who demonstrate this kind of curiosity create a magnetic pull because they signal engagement, empathy, and intelligence, all qualities men crave on a subconscious level. Playfulness is yet another arena of testing. Men want women who can inject lightness into life, who can laugh, tease, and play without self-consciousness. This doesn't mean an immaturity, it means emotional agility. He may test whether you can handle jokes, gentle teasing, or situations that are unpredictable, just to see if you can respond with humor and charm, rather than defensiveness or awkwardness. Playfulness communicates that you are emotionally secure, confident, and able to create joy, even in mundane or challenging moments. Men are drawn to this energy because it transforms everyday life into something lively, enjoyable, and vibrant. A man also tests for authenticity. He wants to see whether the woman he's pursuing is consistent with who she says she is. Are your actions aligned with your words? Can he trust that what you show on the surface reflects your inner character? Authenticity is magnetic because it signals integrity, emotional intelligence, and confidence. When a man sees that you are unapologetically yourself, without pretense, without masks, he knows he is encountering a woman who will create real intimacy, someone he can invest in emotionally and mentally without fear of deception or drama. Supportiveness under pressure is a deeper layer of testing. Life isn't always easy, and he wants to see how you respond when challenges arise, not just his challenges, but yours too, and even shared situations. Are you able to show empathy and offer constructive support without becoming overwhelmed by stress or negativity? This ability signals strength, compassion, and partnership. Men are drawn to women who can hold their ground emotionally while still being present and nurturing because it mirrors the stability they seek in themselves and in the life they wish to co-create. A man will also test for emotional independence. He wants to know that your happiness, self-esteem, and confidence are rooted in yourself, not in his validation. This is why he may step back, create space, or even act less available to see how you respond. Women who maintain calm, confidence, and self-assuredness in these moments pass this test effortlessly. Men are drawn to women who are emotionally independent because they signal security, strength, and the ability to engage in a relationship from a place of abundance rather than neediness. Social awareness and tact is another layer of testing. He watches how you handle social situations, particularly ones involving people he cares about. Do you navigate complex dynamics with grace and composure, or do you react impulsively, judgmentally, or defensively? The way you move through social situations signals not just intelligence, but emotional maturity and adaptability. Men are drawn to women who can enhance their social environment rather than create friction because it signals partnership and harmony. qualities that are critical in long-term attraction and commitment. Intellectual engagement is also key. Men want women who can stimulate their minds as well as their hearts. He may test your curiosity, your critical thinking, and your ability to engage in meaningful conversation. Are you willing to challenge ideas respectfully, explore new perspectives, and grow through dialogue? Women who pass this test create mental and emotional resonance, which is an incredibly powerful form of attraction. Men are drawn to women who can expand their thinking, challenge assumptions, and share insights because it creates connection on a deep, enduring level. Another subtle test involves how you handle compliments, attention, or admiration. He may observe whether you accept praise gracefully, whether you respond with humility or defensiveness, and whether you can receive recognition without relying on it for validation. Women who can balance confidence with modesty, gratitude with self-assurance, demonstrate a magnetic combination of security and charm. Men instinctively recognize this energy because it signals maturity, self-awareness, and emotional equilibrium. Finally, the ultimate test that underlies all others is the ability to create emotional resonance and alignment. Men are constantly evaluating whether the energy between you feels natural, vibrant, and mutual. Are your values, priorities, and emotional expressions aligned with his? Do you complement each other, challenge each other in healthy ways, and elevate each other's lives? This is the highest form of testing, and it transcends superficial traits, behaviors, or appearances. When a woman demonstrates alignment in energy, values, and emotional intelligence, she becomes irreplaceable, magnetic, and undeniably desirable. Understanding these tests allows you to move through relationships with awareness, confidence, and clarity. You no longer interpret his actions as uncertainty, games, or indifference. You recognize them as opportunities to demonstrate your strength, grace, and authenticity. You begin to show up fully with presence, independence, emotional intelligence, and magnetic energy. Every interaction becomes a chance to demonstrate who you are, to communicate your values, and to attract the kind of investment, loyalty, and desire that aligns with your worth. When you embody this awareness, you pass these tests effortlessly, not by manipulation, not by strategy, but by being your best, most authentic self. Men are drawn not just to what you do, but to the energy you radiate, the integrity you embody, and the emotional depth you demonstrate. You become a woman who inspires admiration, respect, and deep attraction. A woman who is not just wanted for the moment, but someone whose presence is valued, cherished, and desired over the long term. Every choice, every interaction, every expression of self becomes a reflection of the woman he's evaluating. And when you show up consistently with authenticity, confidence, generosity, humor, curiosity, resilience, and alignment, you not only pass his tests, you become unforgettable. You become the woman who is not just desired, but someone who transforms the lives of those around her, someone who magnetically draws in the investment, commitment, and love she deserves.